watch Mr. Heavyweight Boxing Today.
Hey, what's up, man? This is Chris, the Nightmare Jarrell, and you're watching Mr. Boxing.
It's your boy Big Baby Miller here. Listen, we knocking on all bums. First it's gonna be Dylan White, if it's gonna be Joseph Parker, but you know who got the story right? Mr. Boxing Today. You check him out. He got all the latest news on the heavyweight division. And if you don't know me, you soon will, because I'm kicking everybody ass.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, so this is part 2, Anthony Joshua versus Jarrell Miller, breakdown number 2. All right, if you missed number 1, I will leave a link to that down there in the comment section. You go ahead, click it, watch it, come to your own surmise about the topic. All right, now with these breakdowns, like I said it before in part 1, I'm not going over everything in one video. Okay, this fight is until June 1st. So we have an ample enough time to break down this fight molecule by molecule, layer by layer. All right. So in part 1, I talked about Jarrell Miller and his high guard. How effective would his high guard be? What are some of the things that he can do to be effective? And what are some of the things that are going to play in right into Anthony Joshua's hands with that high guard type of style that Jarrell uses in front of him? All right. So I broke that down. OK, so for this one, I'm also going to break. So for this one, I'm going to break down about the weight issue, because people still ask me about weight. What do you think? You know, should he come in at this weight? Should Joshua come in at that weight? Will Miller be effective at this weight? So on and so forth. All right. Now, before I get to that, let me also say this. I know these videos are going to bring some new viewers and possibly some new followers if you decide to subscribe. So what I'll say is this. Not only do I cover fights like this, I'll also cover pretty much the top 200 heavy. If you go to BoxRec right now and go through the top 200, I'll pretty much cover basically all of the guys. All right. So not only do I talk about the title holders, I also talk about old school stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s. You can go to my playlist, click on the playlist, and you'll see a variety of things dealing with heavyweight topics, from Jack Johnson to Anthony Joshua to Mike Tyson to Wilder to Foreman to Sonny Liston to Jimmy Young, so on and so forth. All right. I'll talk about prospects, contenders, top contenders, fringe contenders, the middle of the pack, the bottom of the pack, everything. All right. So just want to leave that out there to you guys. Now let's break down the weight issue. My thing is this, especially with heavyweights. Obviously, you don't want to just be overweight to the point to where it's just, you know, going to linger your performance. Now, some of you may say, hey, man, Jarrell Miller is 300 plus pounds. He is way overweight. That could be true. But I look at it like this, you guys. In every fight he's in, regardless, he comes in at 284, 275, 315. He's always finding a way to outwork everybody he's fighting. So to me, possibly it could be he hasn't been in there with somebody that's going to exploit that. All right. Now, maybe Joshua may be the perfect guy to exploit him being overweight. I remember one time, and I don't agree with this guy all the time, growing up, listening to his commentary through the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, but Larry Merchant. I remember there was one fight. It was, I believe it was the first or second. No, it was the first Rockman-Tony fight, because the second fight was on Fox Sports Net, I believe. But the first fight was on HBO between James Tony Hussein Rockman. And I remember Larry Merchant said, hey, one of these days, man, you're going to get in trouble for being fat. You just can't be fat. And James Tony went in there and fought a decent fight against Rockman. Could have went either way. You know what I mean? Some people had it a draw. Some people had it to Rockman or Tony. All right. And I was thinking like, yeah, I believe that. You know what I mean? You just can't be fat, man. Even if you're a good fighter. James Tony's one of those guys, not to get off topic too much, but he's one of those guys, especially back when he was fighting in the early and at the heavyweights in the early mid to 2000, when the mid 2000s, you can literally throw him anywhere in the world and he can fight his way out. You know what I mean? He was just that skilled with his defensive ability, his counter punching, toughness, his ring savvy, just being his experience. But having a fucking gut hanging over your trunks will hinder you. You know what I mean? But with Jarrell Miller, he's not some 5'9", 5'10" type of dude. His weight is distributed to me pretty well with his thighs, got him in his arms. Yes, he has a big belly, but has a big ass head, a big neck. You know what I mean? He's just a big dude all the way around. Kind of reminds me of a defensive end or like a defensive lineman or offensive lineman in professional American League football, the NFL. You know what I mean? Now, with all that said, though, maybe he hasn't been in there with somebody that can exploit him being heavy. But the thing is, he's always outworking everybody, man. And he has a pretty high work rate, probably, if not the highest, one of the highest work rates in the heavyweight division. All right. Anthony Joshua, his weight, Should he come in a little slimmer or should he come in bulked up? To me, I think these guys should come in wherever they feel comfortable. Now, some people may feel as if, hey, man, you need to get out of your comfort zone. I think you use sparring for those type of situations to where you're tired. Well, you know, yeah, you're tired in there. And then instead of your trainer pulling the sparring and cutting it because you're tired, no, get you out your comfort zone. Make you go a couple more rounds with a fresher sparring partner that's in the gym that day. All right. But I think as far as the weight goes, I don't want to see Anthony Joshua come in there and be the slimmest of his career. I think he's going to need his bulk, and he's a big, strong dude, but he's going to need his bulk not only to, you know, land some flush in some punches with authority, but when Jarrell Miller tries to steamroll him, he can stand his ground and he can tie Jarrell up and he can go fire with Jarrell and not get pushed backwards. All right. I think that uppercut's going to be key. I talked about that in the first fight, but this right here is just strictly about the weight. All right. I'm going to cover other topics, things that make it happen in this fight, different type of situations. All right. But this was strictly about the weight. All right. The first video was, like I said, was about the high guard and how effective would that be for Jarrell Miller and him coming straight forward at Anthony Joshua, how that can help and play right into the hands of Anthony Joshua. All right. This video was strictly about the weight issue. Do I think Jarrell should come in at 330? No. I've been saying this ever since I've been covering Jarrell for about 4 years now. I've been covering, man, shit, since he was like 2-0, about 5, 6, 7 years now, man. But with this new channel I started, this Mr. Boxing Today 2 channel, I started in 2015. I've been talking about him ever since on this channel, and then on my other channel, Mr. Boxing Today, without the 2. I was talking about him on that channel, which I started in 2010, all right? So with all that said, man, I think these guys need to come in at the weight that they feel comfortable at. You know, it's funny because had you told me back when Jarrell was weighing 275, even then, and Jarrell has heard me say this, I've seen him in my comment sections, he'll come to the comment section periodically and, you know, leave his comments and stuff, and we're cool, you know what I mean? But I've been saying I think Jarrell should fight around about 250. So to see him gain 60, 70 more pounds and still out working people is kind of astounding to me. Now, you may say it's because of garbage competition. All right, man, but to be 300 plus and still out working guys, man, and some of these guys aren't just any old body. You know, Marius Wakin, he's not in his prime. Johan Duipa isn't in his prime. You know, some of those guys aren't in their prime. Thomas Adamek wasn't in his prime. But to see a guy this fucking heavy, though, and out working people is pretty amazing to me. Stamina. So the weight and stamina. Joshua has shown when he gets into a back and forth of a high-paced fight, he can tire a little bit. The dude's fucking human, man. We're all human here. Nobody's a robot, all right? But I have seen him fight his way out of being tired as well. When he got tired with Klitschko, when he hurt Klitschko, dropped him, Klitschko got up, and Anthony Joshua was dead tired. But he showed a lot of fucking heart, man, and he fought his way out of being tired. A lot of way like Evander Holyfield would do, where he'll be tired, you think it's over for him, and he'll find some way to fight his way out of being tired, all right? He had a second gear. He has some left in the reserve. So Jarrell Miller, you know, he's going to put that high pace on, but he has to be careful because Anthony Joshua has shown he can fight his way out of being tired. But the thing is, will Jarrell turn up the pace even more and or if he gets Anthony Joshua tired, all right? And could it be a possibility that we see Jarrell Miller, even though he puts a high pace up, could he fight himself into exhaustion? And this just turns into a battle of attrition. And then I think his weight issue may come into factor when it's like that. Because it's one thing to put on the high pressure, outwork people when it's just you coming forward steamrolling. What happens when you're tired and you're putting up a high pace, but you're getting pushed backwards? You dig what I'm saying? Interesting fight. I can't wait till June 1st. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Please, man, let's leave some intelligent responses, guys. Let's break down what I was talking about. Give me your ideas, all right? I'm not the smartest person in the room, you know what I mean? Let's, you know, let's go back and forth about this, and you let me know what you think about the weight issue and the stamina, besides comments that he a bum, he's slow, he eat cheeseburgers, you know what I mean? Yeah, but let's actually break down styles, you guys. So right now, let's talk about the weight and the stamina. And with these videos, you might see me just talking behind a still photo like this. You may see my face, and I'm going to get back to the heavy bag as well. You guys go to my playlist, check out my heavy bag breakdowns. Let me know what you think about those. I've done quite a few heavy bag breakdowns talking about the heavyweights. Check out my playlist if you're new to the channel. So the next video, you might see my face like I said, or I might be behind my heavy bag. I really don't know yet. I might go live talking about it. So just stay tuned for these breakdowns, man. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm gone.